that trip was a life changer. From that moment, everything changed. If he comes from here, it doesn't matter if people speak your language, if they don't, they understand you. People will see it and you get rewarded for it.
Hey, you're watching Vybes N Visas with me, Charlie Karomi, and the one, the only Martinz.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yo, you've taken us all over the world.
Yep.
I just need to know, before you tell me about settling in Canada, raising your kids here, I need to ask, how many countries have you been to?
Ooh. Okay, I gotta count it now.
Okay, so Nigeria, you started in Nigeria.
Yeah, I started in Nigeria, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand. Thailand, Japan,
Hey, yeah.
Tunisia. I was in Tunisia. I was in Egypt.
Aye.
Was it Libya? Because you have to drive from Tunisia through, I think it's Libya. You have to drive through Libya.
You drove from Tunisia
We drove from
to
Tunis,
Egypt.
Yeah, to Tunis to Cairo. It took us a couple of days, but anyways. I think that's 8. That's not too bad.
This man was on the move, I tell you. Your passports were just getting visas
I
and
think
stamps.
I finished 3 passports. I don't know how many pages they have, but I finished 3.
It's like when the passport official, you come to the office like, Martinz, you're back. You want another?
You want another one?
Here.
There you go.
Love it.
Yeah, I finished 3, that's for sure.
This is the final leg of this interview. I've told you we could be here for days
so
because
long.
you travel so much.
Yeah.
But let's finish this off. 2016,
yeah,
you came to
we
Canada.
got here.
You packed up your bags, your family, your 2 young kids.
That's right.
From Cambodia. You came to Nanaimo, the harbor city.
I tell you, man, beautiful place.
How's Nanaimo?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
No, you
Laid
have
back.
me. The way you're speaking, it's like you're trying to convince me to.
Oh yeah, I have to move here. You should move here. You
It's
will
a
love
nice
it.
place?
It's nice. It's laid back. Well, it's getting busy now.
Yeah.
But when we got here, then it was pretty chill. Small town, but still city. You know.
How is that for you? Because you've traveled all over the world. You've seen places. You've seen different cultures.
Yeah.
But coming to Canada and like the city of Nanaimo, was there like culture shock? Were there things that you saw that shocked you? Like how was that move for you?
There
For the kids as well. They never had they been to Canada?
Well,
before?
only Lucas, which is my first one, has been here before. Well, as a kid, he was here when he was maybe 2 or something like that. So we came back again when he was 4, I think. Yeah. So it wasn't so much for the other kid, the younger one. Not so much. He was 6 months when we moved here. So nothing really for him. For
this
me,
is all he knows.
That's all. Yeah, this is home.
Yeah.
Of course, you hear the story of him being born somewhere. But for me, getting here was, I don't know, it felt like a dream come true. Because as that 10-year-old, 9-year-old watching American movies, I remember my first day we landed at the Vancouver airport. I looked out, I'm like, wow, this is it. This is that white man land I've been watching on TV.
Did you come in the summer, winter?
We came in summer. It was in July.
Nice.
And it was surreal.
This is the place.
I couldn't believe it. I just, wow. Well, I did not go to America, which I thought I will, but this is it. Oh, we should put America in the list of countries I've been as well. So
You've also been to America?
Oh, I've been there twice. So.
This man. Just give him an international passport.
I need it because I still have a list of other countries to go to.
So you landed in Vancouver, you're like, this is it, we're here.
This is it. My very first surprise came when we got on the ferry.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that in my life. It's like, what? This is beautiful.
I think people who watch my videos are already tired of the ferry.
Oh yeah?
Because any chance I get, it's like, hey, I'm on the ferry. I'm going to, it's a big, beautiful boat.
Never seen. I've always been scared of ferries because what I know as a ferry
is those tiny little things that,
you know, that doesn't have anything on the side. But when I got here and I saw the ferry, I'm like, wow, this is.
You're like, this is not a ferry. This is a ship.
This is a ship. That's right.
It's a ship. But stop calling it a ferry.
They call it a ferry here. So yeah, it was quite an eye opener when you get here and then you see culture. The culture wasn't so much of a surprise because I kind of knew half of what to expect ish.
And I keep telling people this that I think people from developing countries we're at an advantage in terms of like understanding culture and even accents
Yeah.
because we're exposed to so much Western media.
That's right.
That when you come and we see something, you're like, yeah, I've
Oh,
seen that
I know
on
that.
TV. I've
Yeah.
seen that. But for someone who lives
Flip it
in
the
this,
other way around, right?
They never watch any TV shows, any
Nah.
movies from
Africa, for example,
from
yeah.
Asia. So they have no
No
idea.
idea what to expect. That's
So,
true. That's
so
very
when you
true.
meet someone who's like from Canada, never left, never seen anything, don't be surprised when they're like, "Oh, you're from Africa," and they assume like Africa
it's
is
just one whole
country.
big place.
Because they haven't been exposed to it.
Correct.
So there is culture shock, but not so much because you've seen this stuff already.
I've seen a lot on TV before we got here. You know, the few things that kind of shook me was maybe a few words here and there that you don't really see on TV. I remember my very first job when I got here was at a grocery store.
Yeah.
A customer walked in one day and asked for frozen pizza. And me, as from Nigeria, I figured there's Domino's pizza. I was gonna tell him to, we don't have frozen pizza, but this other co-worker said, "Oh yeah, frozen pizza." So curiously, I followed them. Said, "What? You have pizza in a grocery store? Why would you do that?" He showed me.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so it's little things like that. Yeah,
Because we don't have some of the products that they have here.
we don't have back home. That's right. Minced meat, the same. The first time I heard minced meat, which is meat in a jar. I don't know what they do to it, but it's in a jar. I figured if it's meat, it has to be at the meat section. So you go to those meat guys, they'll give you meat. And I think the lady looked at me like, "You obviously don't know what I'm talking
You're
about.
new.
You're new here." Yeah, little things,
Yeah.
So it was, of course, my crave for McDonald's continue. I ate McDonald's every Friday. I made a rule. Every Friday, I'll eat McDonald's.
Listen, there are rules in this house. Fridays are McDonald's.
McDonald's day, you know. I go to work, I eat McDonald's until I got tired of it.
If you're watching from McDonald's, please
Yes.
sponsor the channel because
Yes.
we're selling them. Come on.
We're loving it.
Yeah, we're loving it.
Yeah, so that was basically, it wasn't so much of like a grand, and I think the reason why it's not so much of a grand shock is because I have experienced grand shocks in Vietnam, in Cambodia, and that was overwhelming.
Yeah.
So if you now compare that to coming to Canada, not so much.
I guess that's the thing when you train your brain to expect change and to
Something.
be okay with change,
Yeah.
you're better. That's why people are told travel so that you see more of the
You just
world,
see
so that
it
you're
differently.
Like your mind is more receptive and more welcoming to change.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key though. It doesn't matter what you do, where you go, you have to be open-minded. In Africa or in Nigeria, they say open-minded, we just look at it like some abstract concept. No, it's in the everyday things that you do. It's in your everyday life. Open-minded, it starts from just talking to people and they have a different opinion, and rather than shutting them down because you think you're right, just listen them out, reason with them. They might have a point.
Okay.
That's what I think has kept me going so far. You gotta be open-minded. It's not bad, it's just different. It's not wrong, it's just different. You get it?
I get it. Yo, okay. 2016, you land in Canada. We set up roots. You guys get a place.
Yeah.
You're thriving. How are the kids enjoying?
Kids are doing well. They're loving Canada.
Yeah.
They love it because for them this is home. They have friends. They enjoy it. Families here.
The grand folks, the aunties,
Grand folks are here.
uncles,
Aunties are here. Uncles are here. Well, of the mom, not of me.
Yeah.
So they're loving it. It's great.
Speaking of family back home, do they visit? Do you visit them?
Well, throughout all this story that we've talked about, I've been to Nigeria twice.
Twice since 2007.
Yes, twice. The first one I made sure it was a surprise. That's a totally different story. My mom had no idea I was coming, but I had my sister drag her to the airport, and I showed up. That was epic. Yeah, I planned everything, showed up. She couldn't believe it. But anyways, after that I went back again, second time. And then I have siblings everywhere. One of my sisters is in the US. One actually moved to Cambodia to be with me at one point.
Oh, yeah.
But fast forward, she's gotten married now. She's got 2 kids still in Cambodia. and some in Nigeria.
What number are you? Are you
Number
the first?
4.
4 out of 5.
Out of 5, yes.
And you're the first one to go abroad. You inspired
Correct.
everyone else.
Like, we gotta travel, people. Come on.
How many? Is your mom still in Nigeria?
No, she's in the U.S. now. She had to travel too.
So your mom is living in the U.S.
Yeah. Sister is there in the U.S. as well.
U.S.
Yeah. 1 in Cambodia. And 2 in Nigeria.
2 in Nigeria.
Correct.
Look at you. You set the pace. You started them off.
Like, it's not impossible. Why not? People do it.
Love it.
Why not? You gotta do it.
Yo, Martinz, I've loved the conversation, but we need to
wrap it up.
Wrap it up now. The mall's about to close. We need to head. My question is this: if you were to sum up your travels and experiences, are there like 1 or 2 lessons that you'd like to share with people that you've learned? Like, what are some of the things that you've learned in your travels?
First will be, I don't know what goal you have.
Yeah.
I don't know, whoever is watching, stick to it. Stick to it. I think sometimes we forget that challenges is part of the process of getting to the goal. And it's surprising when there are challenges, people kind of get discouraged.
Yeah.
And because if you listen to my story, there have been challenges, literally tons and tons and tons. But the goal was, it's not impossible, and I will do this, and I know I can do this. So it wasn't proving it to anyone, wasn't proving it to friends, it was proving it to myself that I can do this and I will do it. So I always tell people, even when I go back home, I tell my nieces and nephew, if I can do it, you can do it. And times have changed, actually easier now.
Yeah.
So you can do it. So yeah, that's the number 1 lesson. If you have a goal, challenges are part of the process. Just
stick with it. And I love what you said earlier. Stop focusing on all the reasons that it will not work.
Yeah.
And focus on the reason that it will.
It's gonna work. Like, why wouldn't it work? That's the question,
Love it.
It will work. And I think the other thing I would say is, you gotta be open-minded. By saying open-minded, be receptive to other people's way of things. You may be right, you may be wrong, they may be right, they may be wrong, but just accept the fact that we're not all the same. That's what makes the world a great place to live in.
Yeah.
Right? That's what makes the Cambodian culture interesting, because it's different from mine.
Yeah.
If it's all the same, then it would be so boring. So it's not wrong, it's just different.
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong. It's just different. I've seen people who come in and look at culture. I'm like, why do they do this? That is wrong. So, well, bro, this culture's been around for thousands of years and they're surviving.
Who are you to say that
it's different from yours, Yeah, so those 2 things. And when I say goals, doesn't have to be travel. That place that I applied to, there was a place I applied to when I got here in Canada. And I was competing with master's degree holders. I don't have a master's degree. But the part of the interview criteria was to have a 15 minutes presentation. Pick any topic you want that you're going to present to a panel of interviewers for 15 minutes. And I could tell you everyone picked, very academic stuff, time management and all that fancy. Guess what I picked?
What?
Because I love colognes. That's what I picked. Fragrances. And when I got the job, one of the ladies said, "We did not remember your name. Well, we remembered the guy who talked about fragrance. Who's that guy? The fragrance guy." And that's how I got it.
Because you were different and you were inspired and you went.
So all that put together, it just goes to show that if you are focused on the goal, like they say, when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
If you're focused on the goal, you will realize your brain will work differently. But if you focus on the issues, your brain will just be dormant because you're not giving it the room to do its job.
Focus on the goal.
Focus on the goal, man.
Mr. Martinz, we started with a question. We're going to finish
with that
question. Why did you come here? You told me to raise your kids at home, to build your family at home. And you're doing that.
And we're doing that. We're loving it. It's beautiful.
How old are the kids now?
9 and 7.
9 and 7?
Yes.
So that's What do they don't call it primary school here. What do they, grade school?
Grade school, yeah.
Yeah.
Grade 4 and grade 2, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And they're loving it.
They're loving it. We are loving it too. You know, we're all settled when you're settled.
Yeah.
You can look back at the stories and laugh about it. Yeah.
Are you before I let you go? Are you planning on doing any more like traveling, moving soon? Any plans? Like if you look for it in your future, 5, 10, 20 years, are you going to go back to Cambodia, Nigeria, US?
I'm
Is
a
there
traveler,
anything- yeah.
and I think I have that blood in me. So I still have a list of places I will go to. The UK being one of them. It's surprising that out of all my travels, I've not been to the UK. I think that's a minus point on my resume. So
I haven't been to the UK either. I did a competition in South Africa. It was called the TLC Next Great Presenter competition. And the top prize was a trip to the UK to train at one of their locations or something. I came in third, so I missed out on that trip. And I didn't get to travel to the UK. And it was always a dream of mine to go to the UK.
Go to the UK.
So when you go,
yeah, for sure.
tell me, oh, let's go. I'll be like, I'll be unpacking my bag. We'll go to the UK.
Yeah, I am going to the UK. I think at one point I have not explored South America, so Costa Rica is not off the table. But that will be later, maybe.
Brazil, maybe?
Brazil,
Chile,
Argentina, yes. There's so many parts of the world to explore.
Okay.
And yes, so I have got travel plans. They're just not now. Now is focusing on raising the kids.
I love it. Martinz on Vybes N Visas. Martinz the traveler. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and thank you for like the journey that you've been through. Like it shows us, don't just, if you have a dream, go for it, and don't be afraid of anything.
What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. When you left home, a 22-year-old young boy leaving Nigeria. What's the worst that could happen? You go back to Nigeria and go back to your mom and
get a job.
You get a job.
Get a job and live life, right?
Stop being afraid. I love that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Martin.
Yes,
I have to let you go. One final challenge for you. You've taught me how to say hello in Khmer.
In Khmer, yeah.
How do you say hello?
In Khmer, Saksubai.
Saksubai. You've taught me in Vietnamese.
Xin chào.
Xin chào.
Yeah.
Xin chào. Now I need to teach you some Swahili.
Oh, yes.
To end every episode of Vybes N Visas, I start with, there's a Swahili proverb that I use.
Okay.
So it kind of means walking around a lot is seeing a lot. Like you walk around, you see a lot. It's kind of like, it summarizes travel. Like it's all about travel. When you travel more, you see more. Your mind expands.
That's right.
So it goes like, kutembea kwingi ni kuona mengi.
Kutembea kwingi ni kuona mengi.
Natural.
Well, if you travel a lot, you get used to picking up languages.
So here's the thing. So I will say kutembea kwingi, and then you'll finish ni kuona mengi.
Ni kuona mengi.
Should I type it out for you, or should we just try it?
No, I can do it.
Ni
kuona mengi.
There you go. Let's try it.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much for catching this episode of Vybes N Visas with me, Charlie Karomi, and the one, the only Martinz. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.
And remember, I always tell you, and that camera just died. The battery just died.
We're going to do it here.
We do it here on this
one.
camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Vybes N Visas with me, Charlie Karomi, and the one, the only Martinz.
Yes.
And I always tell you guys, remember, kutembea kwingi
ni kuona mengi.
That's the one. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.